The Star.
Yeah, y'all already know. Seven the pan. That dude Biz on the beat. Yeah. We live in entertainment. Sound change. Crown the kings, homie. This is where it get ill. About to have the tip off live as a tip drill. From the court to the diamond, to the track, to the big skin, flying around the field, starting five forever, keeping it real. If it matters in the world of sports, jeans and long sleeves, they taking no shorts. Hot to death, oh yes, these are the sports podcasts live as a pros course. Biz market wave, the starting five goes off. No matter who you cheer for, emotions out the window, they analyzing with clear thoughts. They take it way deeper than the force ever. No longer got any use for the four letters. The latest news, score stats and a view from the sideline. Ain't no guideline, it's just the truth. Yeah, no need to dig for a pardon line. It's always in season. The people starting five. We going in on three. Run the baseline, starting five. We got what you need. If the sports news you see, we don't waste time. We talking cause we live it. We got what you need. We going in on three. Run the baseline, starting five. We got what you need. And y'all know me, seven sign. I'm the illest cat stick. I got what you need.
Oh, we here. And I don't know if this weather's gonna when is this weather gonna break? It says 70 something. It feels like 50 something right now, but whatever. You know who it is. It's your boy the mayor, that Jeeper named Ace5, your mom's favorite fat guy, aka Mayor Stuttered today because we are all sorry for 2024. Well, we're not all sorry, only one person's sorry, but we're gonna talk about that later because we gotta speak to the brother right next to me.
What's up? I'm still on that WrestleMania high, man. I went to so many shows Friday night, Saturday, WWE World. I just went to everything, and I'm just now coming down from it because I had to go back to get back to my work stuff. But they had the WWE thing where you could come out and do your own entrance and stuff. It was a lot of interesting things they had there, and yeah, I crossed something off my bucket list, so I'm in here feeling good, and I'm ready to continue with my victorious week. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm here. TJ, what's up?
Yo, what's up, sir? How are you doing, Mr. Mayor? How you doing? Listen, I'm feeling good. I'm with you, Dan. I'm waiting for spring to spring because it's gonna be summer in like 2 weeks. And then we're just not going to get spring. That's how fucking New York does. I'm in a good mood today. Hoping my boys lock up the number 2 seed today. You know what I'm saying? That would be quite an accomplishment. If they can do that, you got to run my man JB some MVP votes for his phenomenal performance in the league of what he's doing this year. Your man put the entire squad on his back, and he's carrying them to hopefully, maybe not this year, maybe next year or the year after, to the promised land. At least give us a shot. He's definitely giving us a shot. So I'm super hyped. I'm hyped for the show today. There'll be a lot of shit talking today, boy. So I'm ready for it. You know what I'm saying? He's laughing already because he knows what's coming. But I got to show it to my man from Queens. Hopefully not Flushing. Big O.
Yo, what up, fellas? Yeah, I'm got a crazy fucking hangover. Fucking with my boys yesterday, man. My army buddies come through. Had some whiskey, had some tequila.
Oh, when do you not have a hangover on Sunday, dogs? It's every Sunday. This is religion for you.
It's not my fault, man. That Saturday night comes right after Sunday morning, man.
There's a pill that comes. There's a pill for that now.
Bro, yeah, just accept it, man, and just roll with it.
Pedialyte. I heard that works. Gatorade. What is it? Under Armour? That works too.
Gatorade, coconut water.
Actually, I learned from a hardcore alcoholic. I'm talking the type of alcoholic that gets the shakes if you don't drink enough. The Leaving Las Vegas alcoholic. and I actually swear by this because it works. Hot and sour soup. Grab some hot and sour soup from your Chinese spot. Hits the
Interesting.
spot. And like I said, I wouldn't have believed it if it wasn't for like this leaving Las Vegas alcoholic that gave me that piece of advice. Like he gets his vodka, gets his soup, boom, that's his day right there.
Damn.
So
Vodka and soup, dogs. Damn.
not at the same time. Not at the same time.
Imagine
He's not chasing it down with the soup, bro. That's what I'm saying.
I think he chases his soup with the vodka, but still, like, I wouldn't have believed it myself if it, like, I was like, oh man, this works.
I use Popeye's chicken.
I've heard that works.
I get some Popeye's chicken, man. That shit helps.
Yo, it gotta be
a lot.
salt, man.
It's the grease, I think.
I feel for all you guys. Since I never had a hangover in my entire life. So
Stop.
I just black out and go to sleep. I black out and go to sleep, bro.
I don't even remember those
I don't
kind
have
of feelings.
hangovers, bro.
It's been decades since I had it that bad.
Yeah, no,
I don't get hangovers. I can drink till the cows come home.
This shit don't give me no hangover, and I'm killing bottles of this, so I'm good now. I'm good.
But yo, the one thing I want to do, this is some shit. Damn, this was back in the G4 TV days where I forgot the damn. It's killing me because I forgot the name of the show, but I used to love the show. But they used to like almost MythBuster like, but they would try shit to see if the shit worked. I still to this day I want to buy a water cooler with the Brita filter, the charcoal filter. And then it's say when you run, say you get like the cheap plastic bottle of vodka and run it through the filter. It's supposed to taste like a high-end vodka because part of like when you're buying like the high-end stuff like you just showed, Lispa, it doesn't have a lot of the impurities that leads to hangover within it. So if you're like TJ and always drink the fancy shit, the pinkies up shit, of course you ain't gonna get no hangover.
Bro, I came up on 40 ounces and Smirnoff. There was no hangovers. Easy Jesus was a staple of my diet in my mid to late 20s. So I can speak.
As they call it.
Yeah, that is rock guy, boy.
I recently saw, I think it was a TikTok or a Reels of Gen Zers trying Mad Dog for the first time. That was hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mad Dog for being cheap and affordable throughout my college years. So I was more, honestly though, I was more of a Saint I just because of the commercials. I was a sucker for the commercials back in the day. My crazy wars. All that horrible rock gut, that was me in college. So
Cisco boy.
In high school, at one time I had one bottle of St. Ides Special Brew when it came out. I was walking to school, I finished it. I wasn't like that kind of kid anyway. I just tried it. That shit actually tasted really good. But yo, y'all
St.
do
Special Brew was delicious.
I've never had the MD 2020, but you do know that is not called Mad Dog, even though streets gave it the name Mad Dog.
Really,
it's called Mugen Dean. It's named after two people.
Nobody's gonna remember that.
That ain't yo.
Nobody's gonna remember that, bro.
That's too fancy. I like Mad Dog because it leave you in a Mad Dog state of mind afterwards. So.
leave your guts in a Mad Dog state of mind for sure.
Wasn't nothing better than Mad Dog. It fucked you up. It cost $5 and it didn't taste bad. You know what I'm saying? That passion.
It was sweet.
Mad Dog tastes good.
It was sweet.
Tastes like juice.
So sweet.
Tore you up. I think I was getting it for like $5 a bottle, bro. So Mad Dog was that work.
That shit was high-end Kool-Aid, bro. That's what that was.
Yep.
If you drink Kool-Aid, you drink Mad Dog. You drink Mad Dog with your pinky up. That's what you was drinking with your pinky up, Dan.
It's actually Mugen David. Wow. It's actually Mugen David.
That's crazy.
Wow, I learned something.
He's probably a billionaire. He's probably a billionaire. He's got to be a billionaire right now.
I'm sure as cheap as it is to make, he's got to be.
There's no overhead to make this.
Yeah.
The only funny thing though,
You can do
the only
that.
funny thing
Make that
though,
shit in your
like,
backyard type shit.
but the only funny thing to me is like, I'm surprised that it's still on the shelf because I've actually I haven't seen anyone drinking Mad Dog in like maybe 20 years. So I don't know how. I don't really know if they selling any Mad Dog, but I know it's still on the shelf.
There's
Tyrone,
ways. There's
You don't
ways.
you
to
don't
mask
hang
the
in those
bottle.
circles anymore, bro.
I
You
guess
don't hang in
not.
those circles no more, man. Come on, you matured.
I honestly though, if you're, I'm closer to 50 than
Who
the
are
Cradle,
you?
right?
Who are you, Facebook user?
But like, if I was still drinking Mad Dog in 2024 as an almost 50-year-old, I think that means I have no real friends. No one's pulled me aside and been like, "Yo, Ed, Arrested Development, Ed." You know what I mean? Like, at some point, I don't care how down you think you are, you got to level up. Whether it's your alcohol, whether it's your food. Just in general, it's called evolution.
Ed be at the parties. Ed be at the parties, pull out the small bottle of MD 2020 and be like, yo, chill. Whoa. Pull you to the side, my man. Let me talk to you for a second.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. At the risk of probably never having a job in my profession again, I went to a fundraiser once. That was a karaoke fundraiser, like the private rooms. So I pulled out a bottle of Old E. And everyone was like, yo! At a political fundraising event. And my boy was like, hey, they said BYOB, right? They said BYOB.
Yeah, I like what Ed said, though. I like what he said about the food thing, too, because, like, there came to a certain point where I had to tell all of my homies, like, stop eating that well-done steak, dog. Like, I literally had to fight with my mans and them to like get that steak medium. You know what I mean? Because they were still eating the shit burnt shoe leather steaks. And I was like, yo, you gotta up that, man. You gotta get a medium joint.
Well,
No blood here.
my friends stopped buying 40s and it was like, yo, we drinking Heinekens now, dog. We're not on that 40 shit no more. So you gotta kick in on these $7 6-packs instead of that $1.50 40 he was getting.
Instead of flipping them a quarter.
Let me ask you a question though, because this is what astounded me, right? So I recently, like I think like a year ago, was with somebody who had a 40 of St. Ives, right? And I was disturbed by it, like, why you got that? But I still was like intrigued. So I'm like, let me get a pop, right? I took a pop of that St. Ives and I was like, how the fuck did I ever drink this? It was so disgusting, bro.
Let me get a pop. I hope it was disgusting. No Diddy.
No, it's funny. That's how I feel about Heinekens now, man. I can't drink Heinekens no more.
My stomach hurts. You almost made me spit out my beer, Lisper.
I'm not
You almost made me spit out this expensive ass IPA I'm drinking right now.
I'm not gonna lie, my friends got me into the craft beers. Like if I'm drinking low end stuff, it's like at a hipster bar. I'm drinking that PBR or that Yingling. But if I'm at like, for example, when I went to Philly for WrestleMania, I was at the Victory Tap Room, like since my hotel was near there, and that's some quality. They got some quality. They got some quality stuff. They got the 6 Point Tap Room here in New York, in Brooklyn.
Golden Monkey, boy.
Yes. I was very
the Sour Monkey. All that shit is good.
Yingling is good too, though. Like if you're looking for something cheap at the bar, like Bud Light's a little controversial right now for political reasons, which I don't get, but whatever. But you could always PBR is dependable. Yeah, Yingling and PBR are the two go-to cheap hipster beers for me in that sense. So Miller High Life too, some from time to time, but that's piss water. I don't know why.
Wow, you went to the High Life.
I used to go to a bar in Boston. When I worked as a reporter in Boston, shout out to Foley's. I used to go to Foley's and they had High Life on tap. I was a broke reporter. Like, get me that High Life, man. Get me that high on tap too. I was like, yeah, boy.
That's
It's like,
crazy. That's a different taste right there.
the champagne of beers, baby. Champagne of beers.
Whew. That's crazy.
We're all Gen Xers.
Oh yeah, that's my homeboy
Yeah,
Mike. Yo,
yo.
Mike. It's my homeboy Mike. Shout
We
out to
all
Mike.
Gen Xers on this show. We're all Gen Xers here. And I'm the Gen Xer I'm the youngest here. And conversations like this always make me feel like, damn, I am the little guy, even though I'm one of the biggest ones. But I'm the little guy. I still have never had the Mad Dog. My first old E was maybe a decade ago or a little bit longer because I was still more than a decade ago
Jesus.
because I was in Bronx at the time, and it was the plastic bottle. I told y'all I wasn't the kid. We wasn't the kids that was out there trying to drink and shit like that when we was younger. We was the kids that was outside playing sports and fucking in the house playing video games. I'm just being serious.
Who gave you OD a
Wow.
decade ago?
You guys weren't really outside like that.
Who gave you that?
No,
I bought it.
No, not 2010, Dan. 2014 or whatever. 2014?
No,
it might have been.
Was your first 40 of OE? No way.
Wow.
No way.
Maybe a little bit.
Come on, dogs.
Back than that. It was. I only drank it because.
Damn, I was drinking 40s when the shit started with a 1.9.
No, right. But again, hear me out. This is all HHDG conversation, and shout out to the brother Mike Jones and everybody, all of y'all that was talking about these things, and I'm sitting back. I think this is when we had like group chats off of HH. You remember the group chats, TJ? And I was the only one. I was the only one that was like, yo, I've never had one. And everybody's like, yo, go get one. Let me know what it was. And it was just like, it just tasted like regular beer. It didn't taste like standing. It wasn't nasty. It just didn't taste, taste like a regular beer.
I'm gonna play Latino Johnny Cochran for the mayor here. In his defense about not going out as kids, there were neighborhoods we were growing up in New York where, there were neighborhoods in New York where, you couldn't go outside because going outside was gambling with your life. This is New York, late 80s, mid 80s. Like, nah, my mom, shout out to my mom because I didn't get it at the time. My mom wouldn't let me go out and hang out with the fellas. And when I was up until like I was in college, I was straight edge by default. You know what I'm saying? And much to the mayor's point, I was playing sports at the time too. I was obsessed. I wake up at 5 and make those creatine drinks, not knowing that creatine was pretty much unsynthesized steroids at the time. I was running at 6 in the morning. I'm like 5'5", which I had no business playing high school football, but I'm trying to like reach the rim and dunking and like, I'm squatting and I was straight edge up until then. I got to college and I got introduced to Menigni, Denivno, whatever his name is, aka Mad Dog, and it was a wrap. That was a wrap. Yo, one taste of freedom, a little bit of weed and alcohol, and I was on academic probation off jump. Off jump.
You can hear the toilet flushing in the background, like
my weekend, like it was the most expensive 4-year summer camp I ever spent on because my weekend was from Wednesday to Sunday. And then I even started plotting my classes around my hanging out. I was like, well, I could take night classes now. Word, like, I was a mess. I treated undergrad like the most expensivest 2 Chainz summer camp. like a mad dog let out his leash, man. So in his defense, the glove does not fit in this case for Dan. I think he gets a pass. He should be given a pass. I'm actually impressed. I'm proud of him. So don't be me.
You want to know what it was? And I've kind of mentioned this before within the show. I was the kid that was just like, yo, I never wanted to get in trouble in the house. Meanwhile, this whole time, my parents were smoking cigarettes at the time. My father still to this day smoking weed and shit like that. But I always, we was taught, hey, no smoking, don't do this, don't do that. And so I was like, all right, cool. I didn't want to be on punishment for nothing because I wanted to be outside. I wanted to be able to get up and do shit that I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. And yeah, it just took, I see all this shit. You know what? I became the person where I want to try most things in life at least once. Like, here's some dumb shit. Like, this would be high thoughts. Like, I've always said, like, yo, you ever see the not what the hell is the cat's name? But he does the I think Brave Wilderness, where he does like the world's most painful bites and stings and shit
Bear
like that.
Grylls?
Yeah.
No,
Bear
not Bear.
Grylls?
No, not him. Yeah, some
Bear
dude
Grylls
that
is
in
a
a hat.
survival dude.
Is he Bert
Damn.
something?
Yeah, my bad, y'all. But no, but like I always said, like, yo, I would love to see what a lion bite feels like, where my arm could recover,
No,
or a tiger
no,
bite, where my
No.
arm will.
What?
I said,
No.
listen.
Nigga,
What
what?
I'm saying with
No,
like
bro.
regenerative factors are like, that shit happened. Okay, the moment passed and it's over. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love to feel like, well, no, I don't, but yeah, let me not talk that one into existence. But dumb shit. Let me get bit by a poisonous spider, see what this poison feels like, but then I can survive on the other end. You know, like almost on some immortal shit.
Yo,
Like,
I'm sorry, but no disrespect,
Insanity.
but isn't being a black man in America just dangerous enough? Like you want to snake bite, you want to gamble with life.
It is, but just like every other person in life, not all black folk have carried and walked through the same lives, to where I've never felt like my shit was in danger, because
Fair.
if I couldn't
You know what?
fight or fuck somebody up out of it, then whatever. I've never had those insane run-ins with the police. But do I empathize and sympathize? Of course, because my
Fair.
people, anybody shouldn't be going through that. But I didn't go through most of that shit. So when people say everybody, but again, I be having high thoughts sober, thinking just some of the dumbest shit ever. That's why that sounded so stupid. Like your man Michael said, that was crazy. Yeah,
Y'all know what got me outside?
Bro,
What got me outside?
you can't say a lion
was
bite
humping.
is a high. So
Yo, that's what I'm saying. You're not even talking. You didn't even say like a cub. You said a lion. Like that's a big appetite. You understand what I'm saying?
I mean,
Like,
I could have said tiger, and tigers are way more killers than lions.
that's true. That's very true. But my point is, it's like, yo, start
bro,
small.
the math
You
ain't
know what I'm
mathing on
saying?
that one.
Yeah, maybe
No,
a
that's
Rottweiler bite.
Small.
My point
Maybe get bit by your neighbor's dog. Let your neighbor's
My
dog
point
bite
is-
you
Let's
one time.
start with that.
my
Start with the
Chihuahua. The point that I'm making, Zoe, where are you going? The point that I'm trying to make is like the worst of the worst. Like, experience drowning, but then be able to come back and okay, the moment happened and you're instantly revived. I'm thinking cartoon X-Men comic book level character.
I got you what you mean. I mean, I had that drowning incident. It's not pleasant. It really, if anything, it warps your whole perspective on life. Like, it really is like, oh, oxygen, yes, always and forever oxygen. Your relationship with oxygen becomes so like this. You know what I mean? Like, so I guess it's a daredevil spirit that's within you. I guess. Yes.
Ed, when I was a kid, I used to do the dumb shit. Before waterboarding was called waterboarding, I used to do that shit to myself in the bathtub, thinking I could breathe through a fully soaked washcloth while I was in the bathtub, bro. And I would choke the shit out of myself every time, bro. It did not work.
Oh my God, Darwinism. How did we beat Darwinism? I don't. What was our generation thinking?
Me at like 10, 12 years old, putting a fully wet washcloth over my face, bro, and just waterboarding myself, thinking I can breathe through it.
Ed, send your man the link.
Oh yeah. So he wants to hop in?
Send him the link if he wants to come in.
Y'all know what got me outside? What got me outside was humping. Because before I used to be
Here
inside,
we
I used to go outside and play with my
go.
friends.
This nigga.
What?
No, listen. This is a true
But keep
story.
going.
So, I would go outside and play with my friends. I played Nintendo and stuff like that, but I wasn't outside, like in the streets, like drinking or nothing like that. But one of my friends was like, "Hey, we gonna go to this dollar party. You get $1 and they're gonna let us in." And I went to this dollar party, and it was at one of these little kids. And I went down and it was in the basement. And we went down the basement, and I don't even know what the girls look like. You just stand on the wall, and these young girls was just humping, just dry humping all over the place. It was like amazing. Because I wasn't a ladies' man when I was a kid, so I didn't get to talk to girls or hang out with them or nothing like that. But at those dollar parties, it was like we was down the basement. It was like you get whoever you could get. So whoever's on the wall, whoever comes to the wall, you give. So I like that so much that I started going to all those dollar parties, and then next thing you know, Mad Dog is there, 40s is there, Blunts is there, and then humping turned to fucking, and I was
about to say no more dry humping after that.
Yeah, right. You know what I mean? And then I was in there. You know how they said, like, he he belongs to
Them dollar
Taiwan.
parties turned into them
Remember
dollar
the
parties
hangover
turned
when
into
he belongs to
$20
Taiwan?
get a condom and Plan B pills and shit.
Yo,
Going to
that
the
is
streets,
that is
man.
that is the most amazing Dollar Tree I've ever heard of in my life.
Nigga was
Oh my
experiencing
God.
get pregnant parties at 14.
Oh man, that's five. That was at the Five Below.
I'm just saying that's what led me to the streets.
He got to change his name to not the Lispa, the Dollar General.
Jeez, man.
Y'all ain't had dollar parties in New York? We all
Of course they did. Well, I mean, I don't think I ever paid for a house party, to be honest with you. I don't think I ever paid for a house party.
They had hooky parties. It wasn't like paid or anything. Actually,
Yeah.
that just shows the lack of entrepreneurship in New York City, I guess. But
Yeah. No,
that's
we
it.
all chipped in for shit. We all just chipped in and got shit together as a group, and then we got fucked up.
Yeah,
No,
I
we
mean,
were
the
thinking we
only
charged
parties
$1.
I paid for was all the club shit. And then it got to the point where we was hanging out with people where I started to feel bougie, where it was just like, yo, yeah, we ain't paying because somebody knows somebody that can either get us in, directly connected to promotions or something like that. And then I got to where it was just like, yo, I can't go out unless we get a section type shit.
Oh damn! I never
You know
got to that level.
Because that shit,
Damn.
having a section spot
Me either, Ed.
is invaluable.
I did
My
that
bad.
once, maybe. No, it's okay. I
I've
did
done
that
it-
once,
I-
maybe.
Damn.
No, I've done that a couple of times.
Seat. You know how you go to the bar enough times that people be like, "Yo, that's Tyrone's seat."
That's
That's the
Norm
highest
from
level I got
Cheers.
to with that they need to save my seat on Friday night.
I was Latino Norm in plenty of pubs in New York City and Boston. So I've been there. Where you become that regular, where it's like, nah, that's so and so seat. Like, yeah, I've been there. That's about as close to VIP experiences I've had, like on a consistent basis. I've done the club. I remember in Boston, like I used to hang out with a lot of the promoters. My boy, shout out to Fuzzy Biscuit. He was doing a lot of the rap contests, the battle rapping in Boston, which is it wasn't a huge scene. And so you get to know a lot of the promoters, and then it's like you said, you get used to that. Especially as a minority in Boston, you're made to wait in line. And it's like, nah, that's my man's Ed. He with me. And then boom, front of the line,
Hey,
to the point where
no Diddy, but Fuzzy Biscuit sound good as shit. You know what I mean?
I would have my bad. I would have introduced you to because he was my homeboy that was with me and my wife at Mania. I would have introduced because he looks like Action Bronson. So like he just stands out. Like he looked like Action Bronson with the beard, and it's just hilarious. So I would have introduced. But I didn't even mention that. How am I at the link? And like a shining beam, like a spotlight. It was like the bat signal. What do I see? I see the Lisper's belt. I was like, yo, I wanted to apologize to you for the slander against your belt because what hurt my eyes at first from up close was a beacon of shining light where I was like, yo, I gotta say what's up to my mans. Although at first you were looking at me like, yo, who the fuck is Chachi talking to me, right? And then I was like, yo, starting 5, and then it all clicked. And then my wife was dying. My wife was dying because she's like, man, what did you say about his belt? Because it was like, oh, not so funny now, right? But to his credit, yo, the shit is dope. I wanted to sincerely apologize to you to your face. Yeah, man, that was dope bumping into you at WrestleMania night too, though.
Well, we got more apologies to talk about in a minute, but we gotta go through some rest in pieces. Like one that we definitely forgot, but I'll get to the point that I was trying to get to in a second. Lou Gossett Jr., 81 years old. We lost him like a week or two ago. We forgot to bring it up here as we
Yeah,
normally do. You know,
yeah.
every time I think about Lou
Yo,
Gossett, I just think about Enemy Mine.
Mm-hmm.
I
Enemy
mean,
Mine was
Enemy
dope.
Mine, Iron Eagle with
That was
that
my
was the most
that was my
underrated
joint.
Top Gun, underrated Top Gun movie of all time. And then Officer and the Gentleman, you know, he was killing it in that movie as well. So like Lou Gossett, legend, legend, all day, all night. Yet that man, he didn't get enough flowers for the work he did in the acting game, but definitely most and well respected in his craft.
Word.
Enemy Mine
But
was dope, man.
now, as we get to, as they always say, everything goes in threes. We start the week off with TJ's screen name for the day. We lost the
Yeah,
definitely New York legend, hip hop culture DJ legend, Mr. C. Now we're leaving all the controversial shit out because that's been said and done while the man was alive. But he's helped in part responsible for Big Daddy Kane's success, because he was Big Daddy Kane's DJ.
yep,
He delivered us Biggie. He brought Big to
yep.
Puff. No Diddy. He delivered him to Puff.
The
Great,
ironies. Sorry.
legendary New York radio DJ for sure. Like, I mean, everybody in New York knows who the finisher is, especially once he got that noon slot.
Bro, it's even more than that, Dan, because if you've never attended a show, a concert, or a party that this man DJ'd, bro, I went to a Mobb Deep album release party back in the day, and this man, his affection for Mobb Deep is legendary. It runs deep. But the set he did the next day on the radio, they weren't even talking about the Mobb Deep album release party. They was talking about Mr. C's set. You forgot Mobb Deep had an album release party because Mr. C's set was so legendary that night. I happened to witness that live. Me and one of my best friends went to that. And oh my God, if I could bring a recording device and just tape that entire set, I would listen to that forever. And that would be played at my
Rerun showed
funeral.
you the way,
That's
though.
how dope this shit was.
Rerun showed you the way.
That dude was
That's my favorite
phenomenal.
What's Happening episode. I caught that. Shout out to the Doobie Brothers. We taking it to the streets. But
man,
sorry to
this
interrupt.
dude. Go ahead.
What I was gonna say, like for me, Mr. C, like I'm first generation. Spanish was my first language, and I can honestly say Mr. C produced like the soundtracks to my childhood. From the reason I am a diehard hip hop fan is because of Big Daddy Kane, and that's comes through Mr. C, his production work with Big Daddy Kane, and then he found Biggie, who to me, and it's a Brooklyn bias, greatest rapper dead or alive for me, and so that was my soundtrack. That was the music that we were bumping on the way to the club when I was trying to cut the line. It was Bad Boy and Biggie particularly, and that happens because of Mr. C. And so I'm glad that for the most part, the other stuff is like whatever, because it has nothing to do with the ear for talent and the ear for music that Mr. C had. And then, you know, the midday DJ, his segment that he had every noon, every March 9th, Mr. C was must listen to because it would always be the anniversary of Biggie's death. And he was just dope, all around dope. I just, you know, rest in peace, because like I said, he produced a lot of the soundtrack to my childhood.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. I mean, everything you guys just said, man. I was gonna say the same thing. You know, since 87, 88, I remember, you know, Kane shouting out Mr. C. And it was one of the last few you know, he's the rap around the DJ type of vibe, type of ensemble going. So that's what I always remember them for, man. And then like you said, you know, him just going on Hot 97, being that one of the main staple DJs. Yeah, man, he's gonna be missed, man. He's gonna be missed.
Word. And then the juice is now loose forever. When we lost O.J. Simpson at the age of 72 or 76, I mean, shit. The first thing us Knicks fans did was reminisce the chase.
Yeah.
And them fucking cutting into the game while we watching the damn finals.
Yeah.
But I mean, besides that, it was, you know, the dude was legendary, one of the greatest running backs in the game. I think one of the first people with a 2,000-yard rushing season, held the record for damn near 20, 30 plus years. Them damn Hertz commercials, the fucking the Naked Gun movies and all of that. Like, the dude was a legend prior to becoming infamous. Let's just
Not for
keep it
me.
like that.
But it wasn't for me. I didn't. OJ passing away didn't even hit me at all, because I only know OJ from Infamy. I didn't care about when he played football. I don't remember ever seeing him play. I didn't pay attention to him enough in those commercials or those movies and nothing. OJ was irrelevant in my life until, you know, that. And then after that was over, OJ was back to irrelevancy again. You know, every time I saw OJ on the news, I turned that shit off. Like, I don't want to hear nothing about OJ. The OJ stories were getting ridiculous. So, I mean, I'm sad that my man is gone, but it didn't really hit me because, I don't know, I don't care for the guy at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, it didn't hit. I don't think it. The only people that I seen the internet it hit was most white people that was just like, yeah, he deserves to die. Finally, we got him, and shit like that. Like, I was seeing dumbass posts like that. But, you know, I mean, hey, he lived a long enough life. You get to your 70s, you did pretty damn good, at least. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he won.
So
I think.
so
Sorry, go ahead.
so I'm not. Oh, I'm old, but I wasn't old enough to see him play. But from what I've seen, his stats and he was a phenomenal athlete.
I think
He did his thing on the football field.
I think, to me, OJ is one of the most unique American characters in history, because to some people, he's that football player who grew up watching him at USC in Buffalo. The guy was a monster. He was Marshawn Lynch before Marshawn Lynch, if you watch old YouTubes of him. And then fast forward to other people, I think my generation, TJ's talking about this. He was the guy from the Naked Gun. Like, he was hilarious in that. And then the Hertz commercials. And people forget he was Tiki Barber. He was doing commentary for I believe it was ABC. NBC, when NBC. Yeah.
He was a sideline reporter, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So and then to other people, to millennials who are, I've seen stories of people posting on Facebook and Twitter and other accounts where they were in second, third grade, and the teachers pulled them aside to watch the verdict, like the way we would watch the Challenger, some of us growing up. And it was like, why would you want to put a kid through that? I have no idea, that PTSD of that trial, but for whatever reason. And so for some kids, millennials, he's that weirdo that they cut class for so that the teacher can push the TV in to watch the verdict. And all they know about is this trial. That it's just such a
Right.
unique and fascinating. He was such a unique and fascinating character in American history that I think it goes beyond just sports. It goes just beyond Hollywood. It goes beyond, I think OJ in America is one of the best documentaries ever made because it really captured what OJ meant in all those spaces to all those different people. I was rewatching that after he passed away, and I was just, man, the guy really left his mark for better or for worse.
Yes, he did.
And I understand what you were saying about it doesn't impact you, but it was in your universe. Like you had to block it out. You had to make a concerted effort. You said you shut off the TV because it was there so much. He's such a part of the fabric of that era. And a lot of the issues that we're seeing today, they're old scab wounds from Rodney King and OJ and over the years of, it's old wounds in a lot of ways for some of us. We've been here so many times that, and so to me, it's not so much how he impacted our lives, but his imprint on America in every different aspect of society, from Hollywood to sports to race relations.
He was in the 70s and 80s America's safe Negro.
Yes.
I mean, so much so that Jay-Z reminded us with, I'm not black, I'm OJ. Like that was something I believe he said in his past because, remember the famous scene from Do the Right Thing when Spike Lee was talking to what's his name behind at the table, and why do you have a hatred for black people? Well, aren't you a fan of Prince? Well, because he's not black, he's more than black. Like that was the personification of OJ at one time, and then he became the murderer allegedly, and then he became obscure and off to the side, like Tyrone said. But his Twitter game was just sheer insanity and comedy at the same time. And then he went to, I ain't America's Negro no more. So now I'm gonna be America's nightmare and try to turn gangster and go rob his own shit back. To where they said, finally, we got you. We're gonna send you to jail for something. You know what I'm saying? Only for him to come out and still prosper after prison. So and like you say, he's a unique American story that is just like the roller coaster was just.
He spawned the Kardashians. I don't think people understand that. Like his money, he put the money.
I was gonna say that
he put the money to her father's defense. Her father was a high-end defense attorney. And it really, looking back in hindsight, it really was the dream team of lawyers if you're into that kind of stuff. Barry Scheck convinced a jury of 12 people that DNA was irrelevant. Picture getting away with that kind of lawyering in 2024. To us, it's like mind-boggling. But he kept harping on, what you mean to tell me is there's a 0.0000000% that it's not his blood. And he managed to push. It was really the dream team of lawyer. If I'm ever up for a murder case, God bless, I hope not. I hope my temper is. But like, if I'm ever in a murder case, Barry Scheck is who I want by my side. And we don't learn these names without this OJ trial. And then the Kardashians.
Well, shit, he's the only one left. So.
Well, that's true. That's true. But there was another thing that Dan pointed out. He committed. I've heard the ski mask way, and then there's the OJ way, where you bust in with guns and no ski mask thinking you can get your Heisman Trophy back, and nobody's going to be like, man, I think that's OJ. Like, it's just the dumbest. He really wasn't. He wrote a book that said, if I had done it. Like, this wasn't. I think he's also a testament to how. I'm never sending a kid to USC if that's the type of education. If I had done
it. Hey, yo. He said, I'm never going to let my child become a Buffalo Bill either. Wide right.
Yo, wide right. No, man. Buffalo. You ever been to Buffalo?
Wide right.
Ooh,
no.
Buffalo. Ooh, no.
No.
Buffalo's
hard.
Go ahead.
OJ's biggest accomplishment was chasing down Kunta Kinte in Roots. You know what I mean?
Yo, I forgot he was in Roots. I completely forgot he was in Roots.
So did I. So did I.
Oh my God.
But last but not
Oh
least,
man.
we just did, I believe it was just yesterday, the news came out. Dungeon family member Rico Wade is the next one gone, unfortunately passed away. I believe the age of 52 or 53. You want to talk about one of the architects of the sound of the South as far as Atlanta, Georgia is concerned? Because we can't say the South as a whole, because at one time you had Uncle Luke, who gave us the sound of Florida.
Right.
Then you had the Swisher Houses and Jay Prince's camp, Rap a Lot and all of them, who gave us the sound of a certain sector of the South in Texas. But then, if it wasn't for the Dungeon family, we large majority of people would not have taken rap serious from Atlanta.
That's a fact.
And the beat making and production style that he was a part of by way of the Dungeon family. I mean, still to this day, it's just the music sounds timeless as far as beats are
There's no
concerned.
outcast. There's no outcast without Rico Wade.
Hmm.
Put it like that. He spawned all of that. Outcast, TLC, all that shit that you heard coming out of the South. Yes, Jermaine Dupri was a big part of it as well, but it started with him. It started with him, and that's where they got put on the map. It was because of him. The South had something to say. Yes, Rico Wade was the reason the South had something to say,
But
and that's where it starts at.
Well
because
put.
Go
you
ahead.
know how those producers stand out, right? It's because they have a sound, and it's just like that down south sound. When you hear a rapper before it even come on, when you hear the production, it's like, okay, this about to be some down south shit, and that's what I knew about Outkast. When Outkast first came out, I said, oh, these boys from the south, because the music hits you like that. It's like he knew how to make his music sound like where he wanted it to sound like it was from. You know what I mean? And that to me, that was cool as shit. And that's why I said like he was that down south sound. You know how everybody had that trademark? That was his trademark. That when you heard a song, you knew that this was some Rico shit because this was that down south. Yeah, you know what I mean.
He captured the whole city. He captured that whole. He,
Well, I
I
mean,
yeah.
think
we got to clear this. He is 1/3 of what we've grown to love out of Atlanta. Yes, Jermaine Dupri, if you want to say 1/4, because Jermaine Dupri was one of those who like he kicked it off that hey, we're saying something down here, but like you said, Tyrone, when the Dungeon family came out, this was the Atlanta has got something to say. Not just the Georgia, not just the South's got some, no, Atlanta, Georgia has got something to say, and they've been ever since. So much so that like the sounds that evolved from out of that area has been the mainstay of rap music for the past decade plus. I don't want to say hip hop, rap music has been the mainstay sound to this day.
I think also to that you mentioned it that there are, we seen Uncle Luke break through. You had the Swisher House sound and the Rap a Lot sound in Houston. They were had their own little unique thing going on. Obviously, the West Coast was, the Dr. Dre sound and NWA. But I think with Organized Noise and Goody Mob and Outkast, they did it on a consistent basis. It was hit after hit after hit, and they managed to break. One of my biggest things that I hate about New York hip hop is, and we still have this mentality, is we're gatekeepers. I didn't get introduced to Outkast until I got to Boston. My next door neighbor was from Flint, Michigan, and he's like, "Oh, you rocking that Biggie stuff? Yo, come here, I got something for you." And he put down Southern Playalistic, and my mind was blown. I was 18 at the time, and I had that New York gatekeeper mentality. It's like, nah, F the West Coast, and as I'm wearing a Dr. Dre shirt, but F the West Coast, and it's all about Brooklyn and hip hop and Bronx and Queens and that. And New Yorkers still have, even especially Gen Xers of our era, we still have that gatekeeper mentality. When I heard Southern Playalistic, my mind was blown. My mind was absolutely blown. and I played that nonstop on my CD player, and it was a consistent sound that they brought about. JD rode some of that wave. Obviously, JD deserves as much props, and then obviously down the road, T.I. bringing more of the trap music sound. But the point is, it kind of starts with Outkast. I've gotten into arguments with Beatles fans because Ron Funches once said that Outkast speaks more to my soul than the Beatles, and
I just saw that
hear
video.
that.
I just saw that.
I feel that sentiment because it's not to say and Beatle fans, because they're so sensitive, like Taylor Swift fans and Beyonce fans, they're so ultra sensitive that you can't say anything against the Beatles. No one's disrespecting the Beatles. What they're saying is to a segment of society, to a younger generation, to our generation, that was the Beatles. I mean, the Outkast was our Beatles of that genre. They transcended being this Southern Atlanta sound to being the South. The sound, they transferred the power of hip hop from New York City back down to Atlanta, as Bomani Jones mentioned, and so their imprint comes from him. You know, a part of him. You know, he's a part of that. You know, and it bummed me out when I saw that.
See, the whole gatekeeper thing you saw, that wasn't me, because I've made it known, and I'll say it before. I've said it before. I'll say it again. When I really started to take rap serious was seeing NWA on TV. You know what I'm saying? Like I've heard the legendary, some of the, Marley Marls on the radio when it was just WBLS late at night, I'm saying Chuck Chill Outs, things like that. Like one of my first favorite songs still to this day is the Small Time Hustler by the Dismasters. You know what I'm saying? But when I really started to take this shit serious and fall in love, it was part due to Who's on Ed's shirt right now, Dr. Dre, NWA, Ice Cube, Easy, all of that. That whole West Coast shit really made me say, yo, I really got to dive heavier into this rap shit. And so I've never carried the whole, yeah, I carried the East, the New York, we're the kings no matter what, the kings forever, because we started this shit. But I was always open to the other side sound or somebody else's sound. So that's like when you said Southern Playalistic came out with fucking Outkast and the video, the drop top, almost non-low rider, but drop top, that fucking, like, the whole vibe was just like, yo, this is different and I love it. I like it a lot, actually. I really do like it a lot. Damn, let's see what else they got. And then it would be the Goody Mob. And it was like, damn, let's see what else they got. And
Went
then
down
it
that
was
rabbit hole.
freaking, yeah, you just fall. That's how most people, I would suggest you should. Just fall down the rabbit hole.
But
Just take a trip down the rabbit hole.
yo,
And just open your mind to discover shit.
well, that's the thing that happened with me. It was like I was, I was Wu-Tang, and that's what I was. So I was with that New York gritty sound, and then I was with the Biggie and the Jay-Z shit and all that. And the reason why I was cool with the Outkast Southern sound was because sometimes, dude, like I did not have any rap to listen to that was a chill vibe. I could never chill. All the rap I listened to was Wu-Tang, Biggie. It was always aggressive. It was always rough. It was always, grimy street shit. And then I listened to the Southern Playalistic shit, and I was like, yo, this is the shit I can actually listen to with a girl in my car, and I can have a drink, and we can chill, we can relax. Like, it was smooth, and I like that. I was like, this is some shit I can listen to on the low. Now, when I'm out with my homies or I'm in the street, yeah, it was Biggie, Wu-Tang all day. But when I got back in the crib, I poured me a little something, and I'm laid back. That's when that Southern sound, that smooth Outkast shit, that's what got me into that.
And let's keep it real, too. Because TJ said no, no Rigo, no Dungeon Family, no Outkast, no A Tribe Called Quest, no Outkast. Really, the real is
That was the inspiration.
They were their major inspiration. They were their major inspiration. So it always comes back to New York. But we still appreciate and absolutely love and adore what that Dungeon Family and Organized Noise gave us.
Yo, it's funny. Listening to Lispa, I was the same way, man. Straight Wu-Tang, Big, or like I was listening to Tribe, listening to De La, but it's mostly that. And it wasn't until I got stationed in Fort Stewart, which is like, yo, it's the freaking, it's like a hotbed for Southern rap music. because you're literally, I was literally what 40 minutes away from Savannah, so all they listened to down there was Outkast, and it wasn't Southern Playalistic. I got used to. It was the second album. What is that?
Oh, Aquamini? Not
Aquemini, yeah,
No,
yeah.
it
Aquemini.
wasn't a
Sorry, yeah.
Aquemini.
It was
AT Aliens was the second
That's
AT
album.
it. Yeah,
Aliens, you know,
yeah,
right? AT
yeah,
Aliens,
yeah.
yes. And so, like you said, once I started listening to AT
Yes,
Aliens,
yes, I do.
I was like, oh shit. And then after that, the other album came out, because they came out with those albums back to back to back. The AT Aliens, then the Aquemini, and then Stankonia. So right before I left, I bought Stankonia, and I ran all those into the ground. So yeah, man, I left there a huge Outkast fan. You know,
I,
so
I
so
do
yeah,
want.
man.
Stankonia
know that
went
he was
buck
going.
wild, didn't it? Stankonia, they went buck wild on that joint.
Yeah,
I was
Oh,
like, holy
yeah.
shit, that was kind of like,
Stankonia fucking shot them to the moon.
yeah,
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 wow.
To the point about Tribe Called Quest, which again, Outcast doesn't happen without Tribe. I think also what people got to understand is also that little gap where, yeah, we had the native tongues, but then everything just got gangster and gangster and gangster. Mobb Deep came out, Nas came out,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And so we got away from that sound, and then, Outkast came in and brought the party back. It can't be all thug music. Listen, I love MOP too, but it can't be all Annie up. It
Yeah,
just
yeah,
can't.
yeah.
And
You need that
so,
balance.
yeah, exactly. And Outkast helped restore that balance. They still help restore that balance to this day. If you play Hey Ya, like as commercial as it is, a double disc, you put Hey Ya at a bar mitzvah, at a wedding, at a Knicks game. Don't matter where you put it. I put it out in a Jeep right now. You're gonna see heads. It doesn't matter nationality, doesn't matter race. People are gonna bop their head. Yeah, exactly. Shake it like a Polaroid, and that's their commercial peak. To me, that album is like, to put it in metal terms, that's their Guns N' Roses Use Your Illusion album. That's where you're already at top of the game and you can just go nuts because you got whatever budget. That's why I love, though, my favorite album out of all of them is Southern Playalistic, because it was still gritty, grimy, underground in the sense of its production, not in the sense of the material. And it was just, again, it just takes me back to that vibe of partying in Boston. Like, of all places to listen to Outkast and find Outkast, it was in Boston. I had to leave New York to like Boston to discover something like Outkast. And it does have that sense of Tribe Called Quest, but it's definitely very uniquely Atlanta. Specifically, as someone noted here, Atlanta.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 1,000%, man. And again, one of those legends that delivered all of that to us, whose hands was in just about all of that, was one Mr. Rico Wade. So once again, condolences to the families of everybody affected and unaffected in the case of one person. But, condolences, and as we always say, we'll see you on the other side when we get there. But now, condolences go to this young generation and witness, in my opinion, the fucking embarrassment. Couldn't stand 10 toes down. You shot your shot. You tried. It was a big ass swing. Like, picture Sammy Sosa or Barry Bonds swinging and missing. It was that. As he said, motherfuck the big three. It's just big me. He told y'all in King Kunta he had a bone to pick. I'm sick of you monkey mouse motherfuckers sitting on my throne again. There's only one on that throne, and that is one Mr. Kendrick Lamar. Now, this is all because y'all should know by now. Most people, did their dissertations on this. This shit came out, almost all of this shit spilled out right after our last episode. Maybe a couple episodes before, but right after. And so we didn't talk about it because we needed to see some kind of pushback. We needed to see what the pushback was. And that 7 minutes, was no pushback. It was like, stop, stop playing with me. No, don't push me again. That's what that fucking 7 minutes of J. Cole to me was. Then the Drake joint came out, I believe, yesterday or 2 days ago. I
I
listened
still
to it
haven't heard
this
that.
I listened to it this morning, and I was like, okay, it's cool. But when you put the times, as I was thinking this morning, you put the times of both, you're talking about almost 12 minutes of music to clap back at one verse that lasted 58 seconds and punched you motherfuckers in the mouth and left y'all toothless. Now, Tyrone, because I know where you stand, we gonna go around, but you gotta go last. Because I gotta see what everybody else does. So,
Uh-oh. You say you got to see what?
I want what your opinions on this battle and
Oh,
stuff. Because we're gonna dive into the apology part after, but I want everybody's first takes on the battle.
okay. So my take on that shit. I'm gonna talk about J. Cole's 7 minutes. It sounded like okay. Me and you have beef or whatever, or not even beef. Me and you going back and forth or whatever, and you say some slick shit on one of your rhymes, and the rest of the world is like, oh, you're not gonna say nothing. You just gonna let this dude slide. You're gonna and let J. Cole tell it. That's his boy, or at the very least that's his respected peer. He didn't really want to do it. You know what I'm saying? And he felt like his arm was twisted, for lack of a better word, and he had to come up with something. Because that's what it sounded like. That's what it sounded like, he listened to it. It wasn't Ether. Wasn't no memorable diss track that we're gonna be talking about for years to come. It wasn't even a Drake diss joint. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it wasn't memorable at all. So that's how I feel
TJ,
about it.
something that O just said was the whole like I didn't really want to do it. You're my boy. This is competition, and especially in rap, the element of the battle and just lyrical jabbing and sparring has always been there, right? So we're boys, right? We're all boys here, right? But if I'm standing on one side of the free throw line and you're standing on the other, and I check you the ball, what are you doing? Are you gonna say to
Going to
me, "Nah, man, you're my friend. I don't want to fucking have to cross you up like that or shoot on you." No, it's game on, right?
Yeah, it's definitely game on. But this whole battle between these dudes, it ain't Karis Warren versus MC Shan. This ain't Ice Cube versus NWA. This ain't Common versus Ice Cube. This ain't Jay-Z versus Nas. This is light. This is light. Even Kendrick's jabs at him. People jumped out the window with this. People literally jumped out the window with this. And I'm just like, yeah. Even the apology, like you said, it's battle rap, right? We battle rapping. We could still be boys and go at each other. I've been in plenty of snap diss dozens where with my family and friends where we going at each other hard. It
But
doesn't
TJ,
change the way I feel about you at the end of the day.
TJ,
But I
think
gotta
this is
stand on
different.
my square. I gotta stand on my square. Oh,
I think
I
this
gotta
is different
stand.
because this dude, like he started going up after his album sales and all that. I'm talking about J.
Bro,
Cole.
is
And
this
when you do
even
stuff like
as
that,
bad as Pusha destroying Drake when he
oh well,
came
no,
at
that's
Drake?
different.
Come on,
Pusha,
dogs.
no,
Pusha
but hold on.
Pusha does not
I'm
like Drake, and so that he's always on some shit like, yo, don't come for me. I'm not gonna come for you. That's
Nah,
it.
go ahead, Ed.
no, but I think I'm glad his name was interjected into this because you notice Drake's going at everyone but that one guy, right? right? Like that one guy standing in the corner waiting. I saw somebody post a meme to put it in wrestling terms. Is Pusha T's waiting for the hot tag right now? Like he really is.
Nah, Ed, he did a couple light shots at Kendrick, but he was going in on way more people other than Kendrick.
No,
Adding Kendrick into it.
Of course, but that's kind of my thing with this is we've seen rap beef get out of hand, where it's Biggie, Bad Boy versus Death Row. We've seen it with G Unit versus Murder Inc. And so we come from an era where it's like it got to the point of that. So in that sense, I'm okay with this, get along gang mentality that this new era of hip hop has. I'm okay with that part. So let's get that out of the way. But hold on.
Go ahead.
Hip hop to me is like boxing and MMA. Like I want if I'm gonna claim to be the best like J. Cole did, and then go on an apology tour, which we'll get back into that, like as the mayor noted. It's kind of emblematic of man, I hate doing this. My Gen Y peoples is gonna get mad at me, but this is impossible meat beef. It's what it is. It really is. It really is like
no did it.
It's impossible meat beef. This is that Tufurky beef. You understand what I'm saying? And so it's cool. I thought Drake's rhymes was pretty. His song. I thought the thing that he did against Meek Mills was better. He's had other better battle tracks. I feel like this just feels like it feels like boys slap boxing. I think that's the best way. It doesn't feel like
you know what, Ed?
It doesn't feel like the BMF title last night. It's a backpacking battle. It's like when I heard that Lupe Fiasco was beefing with Kid Cudi, I'm like, oh, so we doing a pillow fight. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Ed, this is the people who drink Zima back in the day versus people who drink White Claw now. That's all it is, bro. This is the Bartles and James crowd, bro. This is Bartles and James.
You mean so man. Yeah, Bartles and James is our era. That was a little bit rougher. Bartles and James is our era. But to what y'all saying, man, I'm gonna let Tyrone go.
You know why these beefs are soft?
What's up?
Go ahead.
First of all, I'm gonna talk about the apology thing later, like we said, but y'all know why these beefs are soft. It's because these beefs don't have no backing. You know what I mean? When Ice Cube won at the NWA, that was because backing. They fucked with his money, they fucked with his bread, they fucked with his creativity. My man was legit mad, right? You know what I'm saying? And then you got like the other beef, like Tupac and Biggie beef. Tupac was shot. Like Biggie was blamed for Tupac being shot. Like my man was shot. And he felt like Biggie had a part to do with it. So it was some back in there. They was legit mad. It was legit beef. It was legit shit going on between each other.
But
right?
this is not even like LL versus Cannabis or LL versus Kumo D.
LL versus Cannabis was legit too because the backing was respect. You know what I mean? LL feel like Cannabis should have had a little bit more respect for him. And if you disrespect a grown man, you're gonna get it. It's something behind that.
Let's say this accurately. Let's say this accurately about that one, and what it was Cannabis just approaching LL and saying, "Yo, man, like that Mike tattoo is fly. Like I want to get something similar." That's all. And LL tried to little man him. He tried to son him, and then he came out with second round knockout.
As he should. This is a mic on my arm. You ain't earned this. You can't go get this yet, young boy. Like you disrespecting me right now, acting like this mic don't mean nothing. Acting like you can just go out and get this shit tat on your shit when I put in the work to put this mic on my fucking arm.
Listen. I'm a Queens dude. I'm a Queens dude, and I'm gonna tell you, man. I felt as though there was a little bit of sucker shit for LL to do that because who knows? It could have been a meaningless conversation they had in the studio. For him to come back on his song, after Cannabis did his part, and then you come back with a diss song, dissing somebody that you asked to be on the song with. It was crazy.
Yo, that was nutty the way. I'm not saying that he wasn't nutty in the way he went about it. Damn, with the way he went about it, yeah, that was some real sucker shit. But I'm saying that the sentiment of where it came from, I can feel how LL was feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now the way he did it was some real sucker shit. You right about that?
Yeah.
Dude,
Now we lost.
To his point though, that cannabis LOB did kind of feel like he stepped on my sneakers kind of moment. It's like, it's just a tat. Slow down, son. Like, and I understand the symbolism behind that tat for LL, like it has a personal meaning to him. But that's one of those things, and this is where I kind of give this Gen Z a little bit of a pass, where it's like, this is about the competitiveness of who's best, not this guy stepped on my sneakers, like type of beef. Like, there were some beefs back in the day where it's,
get to.
There's beef back in the day where it was like, it didn't really need to get that personal. Like, it didn't need to go that far. It didn't have to go to guns. You know what I'm saying? And so to that, I think I will give props that these Gen Y rappers, these new era rappers, there is a sense of competitiveness, not just get along gang, but a competitiveness of, I'm the best. I think there's a way to do this. I think what we're missing, and it's part of, hold on. Yes.
Well, that's kind of exactly where in the direction I wanted to say my point is, because this generation, this is just literally, I'm better than you. What Tyrone was talking in wrestling terms was the beef from back in our days, as far as late 80s, early 90s, was WWE right now. Like, I'm the wrestling fan. Y'all are talking like I'm the wrestling fan that needs the outside of the ring storyline to justify the match, which is the bars and the songs. And that was cool to a point until, shit got violent. The Biggie Pac thing, that was all before the shooting stuff, I believe. No, it turned from the Pac in shot, and,
it
that's why I fucked your bitch and all of that shit. Yada,
but Dan,
yada.
But I don't think anybody
think
think was going that far. I don't think anybody think it was going to go that far.
No,
nobody thought it was going to go that far.
No, in the moment, nobody assumed it was. Well,
I'm talking about J. Cole versus Kendrick. Nobody thinks it's going back that far.
No,
how could you not? I'm sorry. No, flag on the plate. No,
DJ, that's the point we're saying, is that, like, they're bringing it, like Kendrick's bringing it out, from my opinion, on the standpoint of lyrically, I will always be better than y'all, which we just skipped an entire generation within talking about the progressions of the battles and of the rap. Because when you bring it back to the 80s and when rap was in its infancy, it was always about, I'm the bigger, better, badder MC than you. This is pre-recorded rap. This is at the parties rap. I'm always the bigger, the rap contest, like back in the day. Like, I'm the bigger, better, baddest rapper out there. And it wasn't that I'm coming to take your head off because I want to be number one in this new thing we're growing. That in this dude, and they didn't know that they were growing something new. This was just the thing to be a part of and the thing to do in that era. To where this is like a return of 80s, because they just keep, it's the fight that they're just keeping on wax. The change and the transition when it comes to the battles and the change and transition to how we eventually got to where we're rapping today was when Kumo D and Busy B, because Busy B was out there rapping as I'm the biggest, I'm the best, I'm the baddest, and Kumo D turned the energy right back on him and went right at him. And then that's what transitioned it into the style of rap and the battles that we see today, is that I'm not just saying I'm the biggest, I'm the best. No, I'm better than you. And in MJF words, and you know it.
That's why I like J. Cole's response, because that's where I was coming from. Kendrick said what he said, and the whole beef is about who's the best or whatever. And all J. Cole said on his joint was like, "Oh, fam, pump your fucking brakes. Your albums aren't that great as you think you are. You was gassed up a little bit, let's be honest. And now you on a good level, but I'm on that level too, and I can go in the booth and I can make classes right now too." He wasn't trying to come at him. He was trying to say, "Yo, calm the fuck down. With that, you way better than me." You know what I mean?
You ain't by yourself. You ain't by yourself in this.
Right. That's all he was saying.
Right. He didn't need to apologize for that.
But at the same time,
Right.
but at the same time, and that's where I'm gonna go with this. Like at the same time, and maybe it's because I admit, look, I'm closer to 50. I'm a broken soul. Oh man, hold on. I'm a broken soul, but yo, there was no need to apologize. You could still be like, yo, like you could have had that conversation offline or something with Kendrick. It's like, yo, it's like that. Like it just
he
came.
did it on a whole concert stage.
Yeah, and like it's so publicly that you look weak. And again, I understand that comes from a broken Gen X mentality. I'll be the first to admit that. You know, I'll go to therapy at some point for that. But my point is that it came off soft. Like, and this is a business. Again, I often compare hip hop to combat sports, to UFC and boxing, because there is a competitive nature. You can still be friends, be in the same training camps, and eventually have to bump heads. That's just the reality. And I felt there was a certain simpness to it. I think I just made up a word, but there's a certain simpness to it.
No, you said it right.
Where it's like, damn, son, like, I forgot who said it. Might have been who said it's like, yo, leave me alone. Like, and that's fine if that's your approach, that you want to be left alone out of this, keep me out of this. Don't do it at a concert where it looks like you're about to cry and emote. And again, maybe it's a generational thing that maybe us as Gen Xers are broken. You know, like we just came up again. We used to play with lead. You know what I'm saying? Like we used to play with
we used to go to schools painted with fucking asbestos. But
like you know,
he could have taken his shit to the Players Tribune instead of doing it on a Dreamville concert stage.
I would almost respect it if his apology letter was in the form of a song instead of on stage.
No, because doing it in a song format makes you look even softer, in our Gen X opinion. What he could have done was waited a couple months and be on somebody's podcast and announce it. But
that's fair.
The other end, and to shoot him some bail and some fairness, I respect the self-awareness that he had out of it. Because he, you know, the self-awareness of, nah, you know what, this shit ain't sitting right with my spirit. This shit ain't sitting right with my, you know, with my personal energy. Because it almost felt like, and also in some respects, it felt like, ooh, you know what? The people really ain't digging what I'm doing right here. Maybe I wasn't good enough, and I know what the fuck Kung Fu Kenny could come out with. No, I'm just saying maybe some inside thinking of, like, nah, I don't want Kendrick to come back. But now when you lay this out like that, you gave perfect reason for people to shut you. Yeah.
I think he froze. Yeah. But I will add something to that to flip the Drake side of this equation. Oh, wait, he's back.
No, go ahead, finish.
I will add to the Drake side of this equation. Like, while we're talking about J. Cole's softness, I think there's a certain softness Gen Y, Gen Z may not realize this. I know us as Gen Xers, we understand that Drake is being backed by Jay Prince. Jay Prince is real life Kaiser Soze. Jay Prince is the guy that had to sit down with the guy waiting for the hot tag on some, like, guys, you don't want to do this. That's my godson right there. Like, and so it's easy to be a tough guy like Drake. It's easy to take shots at people when there's legit Kaiser Soze money behind you, legit Kaiser Soze guns behind you. And so, like, Jay Prince is that scary dude.
But Ed,
that's adding to the story. That's just adding and building a storyline for this. No, Drake has always been a rap competitor also. You slap me, I slap you back. That's been Drake's style.
But it's easy to slap
someone. We jumped over Tyrone.
Sorry.
What I want to say is that I feel like it's easy. Like J. Cole said it. He said, I can go in the studio and make a classic right now. You know what I mean? So it's easy. The easy thing to do is go in the studio and make an album. The easy thing to do is go in the studio and make records and do all that. The most hardest thing for a man to do is to apologize. And especially a black man showing emotion in America, that's fucking hard to do. So when y'all say he's soft, I don't think so. I think that makes him, I don't think that's soft. I think that's tough as shit to be a black man in America in the rap game, being able to publicly go on stage and say, hey, I don't want to do this. I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't want to hate my brother. I don't want to fight my brother. And the other thing is this too. Had J. Cole not done that, that was his way of gracefully bowing out, right? Had he not done that, and had he waited for Kendrick's response, it could have got worse. And then J. Cole was going to have to go and do something else. And here's my thing to a theory. When y'all relate this to fighting, right? Yeah, you might have to box somebody in your camp. You might have to fight one of your homies. When you young boys, you grow up, you fight one of your friends, right? But when you fighting them, right, and you getting the advantage on them, you winning the fight. Are you gonna beat your homie the fuck up? No, you don't want to beat him the fuck up. So J. Cole to me was saying, listen, this could go way worse, and I don't want to do it to you. So I'm gonna just say I'm sorry. Go ahead and get the fuck on out of here, because if you go to where you're gonna go, I'm gonna go to where I'm gonna go, and I might have to beat the shit out of you.
Tyrone, well, beat the shit out of is subjective. And when you bring it to the factor of friends outside of a UFC cage where you're fighting for money, I fought friends of mine. I got the best of them. One of them, it was like shook. Most of the times, it was just, you know what, get up, you shake hands, and it was done. We both did our combat. That's it. In our era, and now we're kind of speaking from an our era versus today's era thing, because to what you said, it does take a level of super strength sometimes to apologize. But we're looking at it from where we're at. Gen X's, the generations of, especially a rap that we grew up listening to, watching, yada, 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 right? There was no shaking of hands until the tracks were done. And then later when they seen themselves somewhere, because everybody just remembered that at the end of the day, this is still just lyrical competition. J. Cole bowing out very well could have been everything you said, TJ, but it also could be very much what I said. Holy shit, maybe Kendrick got some shit. I know Kendrick got some shit that come back, kick my ass. And maybe I don't know if I can recover after that. Yeah, it could be both ways. Yeah, I got some, I could go write some shit right now that could yada, yada, yada. But it could also look like, you know, this is the two things could be true. Go ahead, TJ.
So I respect everybody's opinion here, and y'all are right on certain levels. Going back to what Ed said with Drake dissing everybody because he got the back end of J. Prince. But even when J. Cole was battling Pusha T got goons in his squad too, and that he's not scared of J. Cole he's not scared of Drake. Or J. Prince. You know what I'm saying? And he's still at the kid.
But that's why to that, I think J. Prince and Pusha T being students of the game, that's why they had to sit down. It was almost like a mob stuff. It's like, I know you got guns. I definitely know you got guns. Let's sit down and hash it out behind the scenes. And that's what happened. And Drake was and Drake had one in the chamber in his defense. He, you know, as J. Prince keeps saying, that he had that one bullet waiting for him. And J. Prince sat down with Pusha T. Is like, this is only going to escalate because Pusha T wasn't going to stop either. You understand what I'm saying?
We got to, again, that take there is generational in a way too, because whatever, you can have whoever you got in the background, whatever, it's still rap. But maybe in that case it's a little different, because maybe they had personal account experience of, there might have been other people in the background that wanted to take it further, to try to resurrect some of that nonsense. But in all essence, we were talking about two MCs going at it. And that's Drake is an MC. It's just at the end of it's lyrical, but how personal were they going to take it? But and then we'll never know how much of a quote unquote grown man they were to just let it be where it was at without the influence of, you know.
Here's my take on it. I don't think Cole was ever going to. I don't think Kendrick was ever going to get personal with J. Cole, because that's not in Kendrick's format. That's not his dichotomy. That's not his makeup. He never attacked people. He doesn't have to beat you personally, because if he has to take it personal, that means you were offended personally. You know what I'm saying? You took it to somewhere where, at this point, like, the only way you can respond is to attack him personally, because you got no more bars. You have no more bars lyrically to match wits with this guy.
He
And J.
said, "My
Cole can
mama."
actually J. Cole can actually match wits with Kendrick if he wanted to. That's what I believe. But the apology was unnecessary because it was all about pure skills, like we were saying. It was a pure skills competition. And
I think
to to
sorry,
say it was more than that, I don't see it. I don't see it. But go ahead.
No.
I think that was this. Sorry, real quick. I think that's the disappointing part about J. Cole. I kind of did want to see an intellectual kind of Kendrick, J. Cole kind of back and forth.
Yes.
It didn't have to be about
Yes.
guns. It didn't have to be personal. Like, you can still be competitive and still be boys.
But that's
Yes.
what. But
Yes.
that's where I'm saying that the apology was unnecessary. But this is what I related it to. You know how when you arguing with your lady on text message and then she say something and she blocked you, and now you can't respond back. I don't think the apology was a whole thing where, oh, I'm real sorry about our
Never been there.
I think that was his way of bailing out without having to get Kendrick to respond back. Because now if Kendrick says something back after J. Cole apologized, he's going to look a little nutty. So J. Cole just shut it down. He used his apology to just shut the shit down. You know what I mean?
No, he doesn't. He wouldn't look nutty at all. That would just be him closing the door on the casket. Get him in a. He can get him. He could do that shit in 40. He could do that shit in 4.
It's nutty as fuck.
He could do that shit in 4 to 8 bars.
But that's
close
like
the casket and then move on.
It kind of is.
That's like you were boxing and then. Yeah, that's like picking up you were friends and you're boxing and then you're like, you know what? I'm gonna pick up this rock and I'm gonna throw it at this nigga's head. Like that.
No, that's not.
Then you're doing more than you got beat physically. All right, you lost. But why are you picking up the rock now? Because you lost?
So that means that means with that opinion there, right? That means y'all hate the college football running up of the score. Fuck that.
No.
If you're down, I'm gonna keep scoring. But no, all I'm saying is the difference in that is in the rap aspect of things, right? In the rap aspect of things, I got the final word. I'm closing this chapter. And it don't even have to be because y'all are taking it like it would be the most vicious lyrics ever. No, it could just be, you see what I did to this fool? I'm done with him. And that's it.
Because if the team in college football is running up the score, you're not playing anymore. You're trying to hurt people at that point. So, we down 40, so I'm going to try to crush this quarterback's knee. Or I'm taking this dude's head off across the middle.
Hold on.
Okay. I was going to say, to TJ, my bad. So to TJ, to your point right there, right? So taking a knee, right? If you got to take a knee and you're the offense, right? But you're already beating the team by fucking 30, right? But you still got to take the knee. All I'm saying is you still got to close the game out. You still got, that's all I'm saying. You can still, it's okay if this dude bowed out and apologized. It's okay to just take the knee on him in like 4 bars or 8 bars.
But to both of your points,
J. Cole is done.
The team by 30, right? If you beat the team by 30 and it's the fourth quarter, none of your other touchdowns don't mean shit to nobody. It don't mean shit to the fans. It don't mean shit to nothing. If you already beating the team by 30 and you score another touchdown, I don't give a fuck about that touchdown. It don't mean shit. So now if Kendrick responds, Kendrick says something else about J. Cole, it ain't gonna mean shit. It's bullshit. Nobody's gonna care because it doesn't close nothing out. You already beat him. You won. My man apologized. He's out of there.
Yo,
so
you're right.
You're
right. Hold on. But also, there's also an ethic to a blowout in college football. It's one thing when it's your 5th starter and your red shirts out there still gunning for stats because they may not see the field for the rest of the year. I can live with that. But if you got your starters in the 4th quarter, it's the 2-minute warning, and you're still throwing touchdowns. I'm gonna take personal. So there is a code of ethic to even the blowout.
But you're right. But here's where again you're not listening to me. It could be a whole song, but it could simply be response to fucking Drake, but I'm going to just shoot these 4 bars at Cole. Just like, you see what I did. I'm just saying, it could be as
Yeah.
simple as, you see what I did to him over there, and
Why do that though?
I accept your
Why do that
apology
when the man apologized? He's out of
because
it. Don't think, leave him alone.
you can all because it's you could apologize and you could sit back and still verbally say apology accepted, but I'm still better
What
than
happens at the end of Mortal
you.
Kombat? Finish him. Finish him.
That's it. That's it. You're standing there. He apologized. He's
You
standing
got the
there
birds
dazed like
floating
this.
over your head.
He's sitting there dazed, wobbling around. You know the move in Mortal
Yo,
Kombat. Just waiting for Kano to
I
come in,
look.
punch and take your fucking heart out.
To
Now it's
put it in,
game over.
no, I'm sorry, to put it in MMA terms, that would be the equivalent of choking on the guy. The ref is stopping the fight, tapping you like let go, and you're still cinching a little extra, just the way
Mhm.
Khabib did Connor.
Or
Like
or
it's not
the guy
necessary.
you got dropped by one punch like last night, and
Mhm.
then you still jump on him and punch him, and you still need the ref to pull you off. You
Fair, that's
finished
fair,
the motherfucker.
Yeah,
You
but
yeah,
finished
he's
the
yeah, yeah.
tapping though.
motherfucker.
But he's
how do you,
tapping though. It's already finished. He's tapping. He literally went on
uh,
stage almost crying, tapping out.
have any of you
There's no
guys ever
need.
been in a situation? Okay, so I've been in situations where I'll be standing there and two homies, they be talking shit or whatever, and one of them will sucker punch, sock the other one, bang, and the ball hold his face and don't do nothing back. At that
Yeah,
point, I feel sorry for the dude that's holding his face and don't do nothing back. But if the other motherfucker hit him again, that's bullshit. This man ain't trying to
yeah,
fight you. You done hit this
yeah,
man and he ain't fighting back. Leave him the fuck
yeah,
alone, dog.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
hitting him after the bell. I feel like it's hitting him after the bell. If at this
yeah,
point the
yeah,
man's
yeah.
tapping out and
Exactly.
he's like,
Exactly.
you know, it just looks petty and bushly. Like you end up looking like the a-hole in the equation by doing that. The guy's literally crying on stage for an apology and forgiveness, and then you're gonna kick him in the nuts. It just I understand what you're
Okay.
saying, finish
So
him, but
I'll spin it like this to make it make more sense. Okay, so the fight's over. You went to the podium. Cole didn't make the top 3, but I'm standing there at number 1.
that's fair.
I still got the last word.
Yeah,
Peace out.
Fair.
I
yeah,
knocked
That's
you. Matter of fact, I knocked you out of the top 3. I
yeah.
can remind you. I can still remind you. Hey, nigga, over here. I'm number 1.
if like
You already
Look
fucking
at
to
said
this.
your
he
You
ain't at the
see?
podium.
Look
You don't
at
have to
this.
remind him he
Damn it.
knows.
in to your point to that, if anyone can thread that needle, it's Kendrick. Like he can take that little dig and still not be personal about
That's
it.
all I'm.
So
That's really. That's really all I'm saying out of all of this.
and that
Is
and that's
yes,
fair
you
to
tapped
remind
out.
people.
You
Yeah,
tapped out, but I could
Right.
say, you see what I did to him? Now I'm coming full pause or force on you.
Yeah, but the thing is, this battle was
No,
never
no.
personal. It was never personal. It's just about pure
That's not
skills.
personal either. It's just business. It's still within the sport.
So why can't
That's all I'm saying. It's still within
so
the
why
sport.
can't so why can't Kendrick just go and sun Drake up and let Drake battle him and get and deal with that, and then that solidifies him as number 1, and he don't got to put Cole in it. If he Cole bowed out, I took Drake out, and now Big 3 is just Big Me for real. He can just do that,
Right,
and that'll
right,
be fine.
Which, you
right.
know what? He did that in the song, but also, because this is something I said on somebody's live TikTok today, and I didn't grant the person who asked, but why not the response? Because you gotta come over here to hear it. Kendrick, honestly, again, 58 seconds. He doesn't have to respond to none of them. Because personally, within me, and I ain't speaking for nobody else, he beat both of them in 58 seconds, and it almost doesn't matter what they rap afterwards. Because I know the next time he wants to take shots, I hate expectations, but I know that I'm going to get something that's probably going to burn them down lyrically once again. And I say this, if you want to call bias, I'll just declare it now. Whatever. Drake is nice. His music is just not for me. J. Cole is hella nice. He puts me to sleep though. His music ain't for me. Kendrick's music, it's not that I relate, but as far as relation in a creative level, I'm always going to be tuned in because I don't know what sound I'm gonna get next. I don't know what vibe or feeling I'm gonna get next out of a Kendrick joint. So maybe if I had some bias to this, then it is what it is. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
hey, Ed.
Yes.
Ed, I want to address this right to you. Okay.
What's up? Hmm.
You said that Drake can battle and Drake can do what he wants because Drake has the backing in the streets or whatever from Jay Prince and all that shit.
Yeah.
But I'm saying to you, Drake can battle and Drake can do what he wants because Drake, as far as music wise, as far as record sales, as far as what he is to the industry, he don't got shit to lose. Pusha T killed him and Drake kept it moving. So in
I
these
don't.
battles on wax, Drake has nothing to lose. Drake can go and say whatever the fuck he wants to say on wax, and he has nothing to lose. And here's the other thing: Drake has enough money to where if it really got personal, ain't nobody you ain't getting close to Drake in these streets, no. It ain't about the backing. Drake's got money to have any amount of goons he wants. So Drake is at the point where he's king. He can do whatever he wants. He can battle whoever he wants. He cannot lose. Like when Jay-Z said, "I cannot lose," Drake cannot lose. Pusha T killed him, and it didn't stop shit. Drake still
I don't.
rules the rap
I don't.
game. So
I don't disagree with any of that. Drake is, and I don't mean this as a diss. I actually mean this as a compliment. Drake is at a Taylor Swift level of success. There's no denying that. His music transcends beyond hip hop. It's being look. I've seen his logo on Barcelona soccer jerseys as a actual promotion to the guys making money. Like I don't by every metric, you're absolutely correct. I think I'm coming more from the term of like it's easy to be a tough guy. Ja Rule is a good example of that. It's easy to be a tough guy when you got the biggest drug lords in New York City, maybe even the East Coast, backing your play and Supreme Team. And so it's like you can put your chest out a little. I'm not gonna front. I'm 5'5". I'm guilty of that. When I'm with my Sapase crew, my goons, yeah, my chest is a little bit out. I'm not talking trash to anybody. I'm not talking trash to people.
You're not
but
looking
I know
for beef.
I'm not looking for it.
No, but
yeah.
if it happens, you brought this on yourself.
But
I can't control what my friends do. I had that happen to me at the Smoking Grooves concert in Worcester, Massachusetts, where I was rolling with a bunch of Dominicans and some dude from Plymouth Rock, and he's sticking his chest out like, "Yo, I'm from Plymouth Rock," and my boy's like, "Yo, I'm from Murder Pan. My boy's from the Bury. My man's is from Brooklyn." Now he's pointing me out like I'm gonna do something again. At this point, I'm like, "Oh shit. I gotta do the puffish thing now, right? Like, cause puffish, right? But as a puffish, I feel a little bit more comfortable around a school of barracudas and sharks around me. It just that puffishness is all of a sudden not so bad looking when I have the goons around me, and that's what I mean by Drake has that luxury of money, power, and goons to be able to either go at a competitive level or at a personal level.
But
and that's when
can we say though that Drake, like you said, he's on that Taylor Swift level, and I think that's why so many artists come at him. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't rap. Most of his content is not on some thug shit. You know what I'm saying? He's talking about chicks or whatever, clothes and still like you look at his history. He's had the most beefs, the most battles. You know what I'm saying? He's never backed down. That's why it was I was kind of shocked when they said a new song he was dissing Rick Ross, because I'm like, yo, I know that's your biggest collaborator.
So, I did like that Rick Ross joint, by the way.
The Rick Ross joint. Go listen to what Drake did at go listen to that Ross joint, and it just eliminates what Drake did. But see, all in all, to what y'all been talking about with, again, the outside beast and all that stuff, like, Tyrone said, he's winning and it doesn't matter. None of the outside shit matters when we're talking about the sport itself. The art of the rhyme, the art of the battle. None of the
pure
outside.
Skills.
It doesn't
pure
matter.
Skills.
That's it. It's I'm lyrically better than you at the end of the day. No matter, even if you add personals and all of that, that's cool. I don't mind that in a battle at all. it's still about the raps. Fuck what everybody else got on. If the people around you want to get over some shit that you are just either in a sparring session or a 3 round charity fight in, and your people want to go nuts for just in case if you lose, maybe you need to rethink some of them people because they don't get it. They don't get it.
Hold on.
This is about the lyric shit. Fuck the I'm on top and I got money. Fuck the I got goons behind me. No, it's fuck all of that. It's my raps
Because
No,
that's how it
are better than
starts.
you.
That's how it starts.
no,
It starts from a
no,
pure
no, it
lyrical
don't.
battle. That's yeah,
No,
it
it's not
does.
even lyrical. What are y'all talking about? We talking about J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and Drake. And y'all saying something about it being lyrical when we both know, everybody in hip hop knows that lyrically Drake is not on the level of Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole. We all know that. Drake even knows that. So for Drake to be involved in this beef, we ain't talking no lyrical shit. We talking about like controlling rap overall. We talking about
Nah,
everything. Because
but he was
Drake ain't
included.
in no lyrical battle. Drake ain't in no lyrical battle with no Kendrick Lamar. That's fucking stupid. Drake ain't
But
in
he
no
was
lyrical
dragged in.
battle with J. Cole.
He
That's
was
fucking
dragged
stupid.
into. He was dragged into this by the big three line. You know what I'm saying? Like, so even you may be right. I'm not disagreeing with you, but he was brought into the equation by the other two. So it goes back to again, like kind of that street fight mentality. It's like, yo, why you putting my name in my mouth? I'm minding my own business, counting checks, and I'm jinxing sports teams with my bets. Like, leave me alone. He got dragged into this. Now he's got to do something.
Right, right. But
With
but
my
the whole
bets.
but the whole the laying on the lyrical part that goes into the conversation behind everybody has a different meaning for quote unquote lyrical. That's why I hate when some people try to define, oh, that person's a lyrical rapper. Every rapper is rapping lyrics. It's the context of said lyrics that we're talking about.
That's a
Drake
great point.
Right.
can really, that kid can really rap his ass off if he wants to, but he knows how to make a hit. This is where the differences set in with that. But Drake can truly rap his ass off if he wants to.
I
That's
never
why I
seen.
said this is just a battle of lyrics. Whose raps are better than? I mean, when it comes to the end of the day, for all battle rap, regardless of outside beef, this is still, are my rhymes better than yours? And can I get the people to think my rhymes are better than yours?
Right. Right.
Yeah, tell me one song of Drake that he rapped his ass off.
I
Just
knew
give me
somebody
one.
was gonna say that. I knew somebody was gonna
Tell
say
me
that.
one.
And
I'm
it's
waiting. No,
go
I want to hear it. If you know what
no
I'm
no
gonna say,
no
you should
no
be
no
ready
no.
with it.
Tyrone, I said before and I say it again. Drake's music is not for me. So you're not going to get
You
your
said. You just
satisfaction.
said. You just said.
I
You just said Drake
because
can rap his
I've
ass off if he want to.
because Tyrone,
So
no,
why
cut
are
the
you
shit,
saying that
cut
then?
it. Stop
That's
for a
what you
second.
said.
Stop for a
Drake
second.
cannot rap his
Because
ass off. In my
stop,
opinion,
Tyrone.
cannot.
Tyrone, stop. Because if I could go back and say, yo, Method Man could rap his ass off, I don't need to point to any of the songs on all his album to prove that. There are videos of him freestyling coming off the top of the dome. There's instances where you've seen it in person, on a stage, freestyling in between a set, showing they got lyrical skills. It's not just about, I'm not pointing at a song. I've seen
I've
Drake
never
do
heard
these
Drake.
freestyle videos and things like that. You just said, tell me one song where Drake is rapping his ass
I've
off.
never heard Drake.
There's a,
I've never heard Drake rap his ass off in my life. I don't think he can
Never?
do it.
Never?
Never. What? When?
Wow.
Never.
I think that's
I
I think that's a
think you can make
generational
good
thing.
songs, you can make good music,
it
but rap his
is.
ass off? No, I don't think so.
I think that's a generational thing. I think younger folks would probably can one or two, probably 5 songs. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe
Because it
in
means
that
something
sense,
to them.
yeah. In that
Song
sense,
wise, yeah.
maybe in this case, this is where we as Gen X may have to bow out of the conversation in that sense, because it's like they're the ones that can better tell you, or Drake man can better tell you,
And
yo, what about this track? What about that track? I'm
right.
not qualified to.
Right.
I like I'm on one, but that doesn't mean it was greatest lyrical song of all time. I just like the vibe
Right.
of I'm on one.
Right. No. And to your point, and Ty, the dude does have bars. I can't recite them at this point in time on the spot, but the dude has bars. And like Dan said, his music is not for me. He has a handful of songs that I really do like, but to say he can't hold his own, maybe not to the level of Drake and Cole, but Kendrick and Cole, but he's definitely in the fight. He's definitely in the fight. He can spar. He can spar with these dudes.
He is the biggest rapper. He's the biggest rapper in the genre. So let's give credit where credit is due. You know, we may not like his music or whatever the case is, but he's on the top of this pyramid that we're talking about.
Tyrone, to take. I'm sorry.
I don't. I don't disagree.
Lyrically wise, he may not be the best. You know, as far as producer wise, he may not be to your liking. But there's no artist bigger than Drake right now in rap music.
Oh. I 100% agree. Drake is number one. Drake is top notch, and I do say that Drake has the ability to make great songs. Some of his songs are great. I like some of Drake's songs. Some of them are great. He has the ability to make great songs. But if we're just talking bar for bar, rapping his ass off, I don't. Yeah, that's right. Not.
But no, but that's just the point I was trying to make.
That's a personal
taste.
That's
just one point. That's one piece of the whole puzzle, the whole pot.
And it's again. I love say
I was just talking and I didn't realize I was on mute. Because what y'all just said right now is Drake is number one for everything else, but why? What got him to number one, which was the rapping. What got him for us to even know him? Nobody's putting him at the pedestal because of his Wheelchair Jimmy. Then we'd be talking about acting, but we're talking about rapping. So how could you say that he's up at the top and number one and all that, but then say but his rhymes is make sense?
Makes good.
That's why he's at the top of the pyramid. But at the rap pyramid, he's right underneath.
But Ty, he's rapped with some of the biggest lyricists of all time, and he's held his own with them, with Wayne, with Eminem, with
Jay, with fucking
Jay.
Ross, with
Ross, and he's held his own.
And to Dan's point, the way to put it in wrestling's terms, right now, however you feel about Drake, he is Roman Reigns. You have your Okada and you have your Ospreay and Cole and Kendrick, but who is the tribal chief? Okay, maybe Roman Reigns can't go as hard as Okada and Ospreay, but the success of selling out building after building after building after building, that's who Drake is. He is Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
we may like Okada better.
Shit. You're talking about the outside shit.
And I'll say it too.
But it's part of the package. But it's part of the package, though, isn't it? That's why he's the top dog.
Using your same example, Roman Reigns ain't a great wrestler to me, but he's number one in wrestling. That's my point.
But there's no denying, and that's to Dan's point about sometimes that outside stuff does influence and is a part of the game.
It does. No. Don't get me twisted. It does. When you're talking, we're talking about this by way of the battle, by way of the rhyme. Mm-hmm. We're talking about rhymes and then infusing everything else. Like, this is like people arguing with me back in the day when I would say, this person's better, but then they're throwing there, but how many albums did they sold? Yo, did they go platinum? I didn't say that they fucking got album of the year nods their whole career. I never said that they sold fucking 50 million albums. I just said that KRS-One can rap better than you, Nelly. And then my niggas would throw at me, and Nelly went how many times platinum? Like, what does that have to do with the rhyme, TJ?
Dan, we seen this every year when we do the hip hop contest in HHDG. We see it
all the tournaments
every year for the tournaments, and then they throw in album sales. Can he sell out arenas? How long does it take for him to sell out arena if he says he does a concert in the Garden tomorrow? All this other bullshit, existential bullshit that has nothing to do with, like you said, with the pure skill of rhyming. He wouldn't be where he was, like you said, he wouldn't be where he's at if he could not rhyme. I mean, here's a good example, right? Master P, I don't like Master P, right? I don't like E40, all right? He doesn't relate to me. Is he a legend? Is he a legend in his field?
Ooh, TJ.
Yeah, right.
Boo, TJ. I love both of them.
Right? Is he a legend in his field, and does he deserve that respect? Absolutely. I'll never listen to E40 ever. I I don't have no desire to listen to him. I heard him a couple of times, but I'm not knocking him for what he's done for the culture, what he's done for hip hop, and for his fan base. They're just diehard people that ride and rock with him, and you got to respect that. You have to respect that. That's what I'm saying.
Said people don't like Doom. We love Doom on this show. A lot of people don't like Doom. I could sit here and justify why he's in my top 5. But then you could be like, yeah, but what did he do this? Did he do that? Oh, he was just on Cartoon Network doing that. Cartoon Network shit was fire to me. What else you gonna tell me? Yeah, you want to add outside shit? Come on. But you know, when we're talking about a lane right now. We're talking about a lane. Who cares if Drake got more money? Who cares if Drake is one of the number one pop stars in the planet and all that? Drake's ass can rap. Yes, the notoriety and things brings you the level of talent that you get in features, but even some of those features that are named, they ain't gonna just do a record with you just because the check might be there. They're doing the
let's
record.
Get Drake on the pod. Let's get Drake on the pod, Dan, so he can come up here.
I would love to. I would love to. You know, we've all. Everybody's kind of shit on.
I would love it too. I would love it too.
Yeah.
I would be talking that
you
shit.
You can't. Don't have me on that show because I'm gonna be so mad that he keeps betting on my team. When I saw his logo on that Barcelona jersey, it was like mush. He is mush. He is hip hop mush from Bronx Tale. I was so angry when his logo was on Barcelona's jersey. Yo, last night in the main event of UFC 300, when I saw he put money on Pereira, I was crapping my pants off. I'm like, oh God, here comes the upset. This mush motherfucker here, like mush.
Sports jinx. You can call Drake a sports jinx. That's funny.
I would love to talk to Drake.
Yeah, word. But all in all, it's like again, the apology was. I mean, it was what it was. Like on some like when our guest that was supposed to come, I guess she couldn't make it. She was talking Dream Team, Cole and all of that. But I know like some people like them like the spiritual aspect of things. He didn't feel it in his spirit that he needed to go on. You know. At the end of it all, I can respect that. But then when I look at it in the spirit of competition, it's like, yeah, now I'm never gonna consider you even close to this person.
Well, hold on. Is Cole in this competition spirit though? You know, he might just be comfortable with his place. And he might not even be in the competition spirit. You know, some people don't have to compete to be comfortable in their place, bro.
No, I get it, but maybe if utilizing outside stuff to talk about one's character, didn't the man just try to make the NBA team in Africa? I mean, competitive spirit says, yo, I've played basketball all my life, but now let's push this. My name is going to help this situation, but let's just try to get competitive. And the man got assigned a 10-day contract over there.
He did.
You can't not, if you are an athlete, and not perfect tie-in with him, if you claim athlete or you try to be an athlete and you don't have a competitive bone in your body, don't ever play a fucking game again in your life. If you're doing it for the money and whatever.
That's the thing. It's like he now put himself in a bubble where he can't say he's the best because he doesn't want to go to war.
Right.
Proverbial war, not real war, but proverbial war to be the best. And that's okay. If that's the lane you seek, you want to go hang out with Kid Cudi and Lupe Fiasco, cool. That is your lane. Stay on it. Go kick and push and be a backpack rapper. And I like J. Cole. I'm a J. Cole fan saying that. But like to me, it's like he no longer has a claim to that throne. It's not big three. It's hard. Maybe we can still put him big three, but he's number 3. He's never going to be number 1. He just put himself in that bubble. He put himself in that corner. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. I respect that.
If anything, for me, it flip-flop him and Drake. That's it.
Mm-hmm. He definitely said, fuck it, y'all got it. He definitely said that. He said, fuck it, y'all got it.
For real.
I mean,
Yeah,
And that's okay. Some people ain't built. Look, some people ain't built to be Optimus Prime. Some people are meant to be Bumblebee. That's okay. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's kind of that's not the good. That's not the right analogy for it,
Ultraman.
because fucking Bumblebee put in work. It might have
But
been side work trying to get whatever the kid's name, Timmy or Jimmy, get him out of danger. Like, he put in a lot of work.
But that's J. Cole. I'm not dissing him by calling him Bumblebee. I didn't call him Ultra Magnus because he don't want to be two either. He's Bumblebee. You know, he's the guy that you send on the side missions to handle business. But he can't be Optimus. He can't hold the Matrix.
Nah,
he just
he's
can't.
jazzed. He's jazzed in this one. He's jazzed in this one. He ran out to try to do the mission. Ended up dying.
His shit pulled up. When
he shows up, he's cool as shit, but he don't really do shit. That's J. Cole. I mean, I'm cool, but I ain't doing nothing.
Wow. I just popped from Jazz Cole.
Wow.
His name is Jazz Cole. How the fuck did my brain be on something else? Maybe it's, I'm not going to say what it is, but yeah, this was good, yo.
No, we're not finished yet, because Dan, I want to hear both these guys' perspectives on the WrestleMania experience for both of y'all.
I didn't want to hear shit about WrestleMania.
I know how you feel about it.
It was a B- pay-per-view. They were there.
I'll let Tyrone go first. His experience first.
Okay. So my experience is that, if I would have watched it on TV, I'd probably give it a B-, whatever. The matches weren't that great. But being there, the electricity that was in there in the stadiums, the electricity that was going on all that weekend, these grown men carrying around wrestling belts. When you see 30,000 grown men with a wrestling belt, it kind of does something to you. It's like, popping. You know.
So there was really that many people out there with belts?
Dude, everybody had belts, dude. And then when we went to the counter, they had
see it at indie shows.
They had $1,000 belts at the counter, and they were selling them things. People were buying belts at the stadium, really? $500,000 buying them like hotcakes, bro.
It was 400, 500, boom, on the spot just for a
dude. Yep. Something like I've never seen before in my fucking life. So yeah, maybe the show as a whole maybe wasn't that great, but the whole, if you take in the experience, dude, it was phenomenal.
I went night one and night two. I will say the night one crowd got criticized for being quote unquote quiet. This was the first time, this is my third Mania, first time I've seen it at an outdoor venue. Yo, it was cold. I don't know how y'all watch football up there, Philly fans. Like, I mean, I'm broke. I can't afford MetLife. Like, I'm from New York, you know what I mean? Like, I'm the broke side of New York. So I can't go to MetLife games during the winter. But like, yo, I can't picture, I mean, you guys go to the playoffs too. I can't picture like December being up there. That first night was cold, so the crowd to defend the crowd that first night, they were quiet because it was just, I was shivering, like, and it did get hot. Now that second night, I understand, I always grade WWE on a WWE curve, and I love the show. I love the direction of Triple H, but man, those last 10 minutes of the show, like it towards the end, just when you thought that crowd couldn't pop any harder, phrasing, but just when you thought that crowd couldn't be taken to a higher plateau, here comes Stone Cold. Here comes Cena. Here comes Undertaker. And that crowd just kept getting hotter and hotter and hotter to the last finale where Cody finally wins. And it was like a cool eruption of wrestling geeks getting to see the story finished. And for once, WWE, this is how you know Vince McMahon's gone, gave the fans fan service. Usually, if you're in hometown, you know that guy's going to live. The wrestler's hometown, they're going to lose. They're not going to give you that fan service. I thought it was going to go Roman Reigns' way to try to erase Hulk Hogan, but the crowd needed that, and it was electric, to take a turn from The Rock. It was electric being in that crowd. Just, it was so loud when the Undertaker, I'm not even an Undertaker fan, but I marked out. I was like, oh, snap. And just the eruption of that crowd, it was electric. And it was one of the best out of all of the WrestleMania experiences. It was the best experience. Philly, for me, lived up to the hype. It was a bucket list of mine of going to a Philly show. I went to a Philly show at Mania. I'm glad I did that. I'm never going back to a Mania outdoors, I think, again, in the East Coast, because the second day was better weather, much better weather. That first night, it was cold. But again, those last 10 minutes were so intense that bottled emotion, and then it was like a champagne bottle erupted when Cody got the 3 count.
And here's the other crazy thing to Ed's point, right? So night one, soon as the show was over, people were trying to get out of here. It took me an hour and a half to get out of that stadium from my car, right? So I'm like trying to get ahead of the game. Night two, after Cody won that belt, there was a 20 to 30-minute celebration going on in the ring, and people weren't leaving. Like, we were literally just standing in the crowd, just watching these wrestlers come out and just celebrate his win. And it went on for like 30, 20 minutes, and nobody was trying to get out of there. Nobody was in a rush to get home. It was just like we were living in that fucking moment right there.
That to me, that's what I love about pro wrestling, the way it can get you to suspend. You know, for some people it's Star Wars, for some people it's the Avengers, but seeing this collection of people suspend belief and trying to will this man to win the title, you can't script it any. Hollywood couldn't script it any better than this, and it was a sense of joy within everyone of Dusty's kid. You know, we all talk about in within wrestling, we talk about Dusty's kids and Seth and Roman and Becky and the 4 pillars of WWE's women's wrestling. But Dusty's kid won, and the one title that Dusty never had. And I think that just, again, that elation of seeing this person achieve his career goal, like Tyrell said, it was such a good, great celebration of what wrestling is. However you feel about WWE, it was dope being there. It really was. It was one of the better live experiences I've ever had to witness.
Now the other homie Kirk chimed in. If he's talking about the wrestling thing, he said, "Is it a true finale of the golden era?" The golden era of wrestling has been dead since I couldn't even tell you how long, bro. The golden era has been dead. The only thing that the WWE defined in this moment, and I'm talking in-ring product, because experience-wise, it looked like it was a dope time. I didn't want to spend that insane amount of money to get there, but something said I want to go down there to do all the other shit around. I ended up having to work anyway, so it didn't make a difference. But the golden era of wrestling, there hasn't been. They're now just a shift in leadership change eras. And the WrestleMania that just passed was like, the whole show was, though I call predictable, it was the reset of the clock for the WWE. But like one of the biggest resets the company's ever seen. Like, we've never seen it on this level and this magnitude before, because the man who was damn near the god of American professional sports and sports entertainment is concerned, the man who created most of the memories within wrestling outside of what WCW and everybody else and all that was doing.
You hit mute. Real quick. So could you feel the presence of McMahon's not being involved with it, or
absolutely?
Or now watching from TV, yes, them there.
Absolutely. The booking. And I'll tell you what, to Tyrone's point earlier, the celebration of carrying Cody on the shoulders was reminiscent of when Dusty Rhodes won the NWA title when he beat Ric Flair. So Vince McMahon would have never had the face locker room come out to have that celebration. Honestly, I don't think he would have had Cody winning, because Vince McMahon has always been disrespectful to that bloodline, from naming Virgil the manservant for Ted DiBiase after he named that after Dusty Rhodes, to putting Cody in the Stardust costume. You understand what I'm saying? McMahon's always been derisive of the Rhodes bloodline. So you saw Triple H's imprint all over that show, even live.
It was more Triple H's handprints all over the show.
Absolutely.
Than McMahon trying to cater it to his style of what he wanted.
Hold on, TJ. It was to a point, because I felt the stench of Vince McMahon all over that pay-per-view, because one, the entire card was predictable, except for the 6-man tag team match. But that's not the conversation we're having. Number two, if you paid attention to the fucking advertising in that WrestleMania for each match, shout out to my other homie Ed, UWO podcast. As he mentioned, they had the Dude Wipes advertisement for a shitty match. I don't remember which match that was, but I'm gonna move on to where Vince McMahon was still there. When what I called SWA Sisters with Abs, Bianca, Naomi, and Jade, right? When they fought what I was calling the Orient Express with one Asian, they had a Wingstop. They had Wingstop ads in promotion during the Black women's match. Right? Fast forward to the next multi-person match, right? You had Latinos versus Hispanics, or Latinos versus Latinos, Hispanics versus Hispanics, however you want to say that confusing label, whatever. They had Agua Fresca as their advertisement. And then when the black men got on, that is Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, aka the Pride, they had gin and juice. Their advertising is gin and juice.
Tyrone was gonna say something,
Chicken,
and I'll
chicken for the black women, aka chicken for black people. Alcohol for the black people, and a Spanish name drink for, you guessed it, Latinos and Hispanics that speak Spanish.
I'll let because Tyrone had a point, but I will interject from the sports business end on 1 second to that. A slight
Fuck the business. I just said the stench of Vince McMahon because of the racist advertising placement.
But that's not even if that's Endeavor. That's how Endeavor rolls.
I'm saying that just gave me the aura of Vince. I'm sorry, Ed. That's all.
That's fair. But here's my question to you. What, you were supposed to show Agua Frescas during the Joshi's battle when Kyrie Sane and them, like when exactly were you supposed to show the Agua? And I'm just talking about Agua Frescas. The other stuff, I'm with you there. But with Agua Frescas, it made sense to put it during the Lucha match. That's to me, from an advertising sense, that's just common sense.
I know what you're saying. It's just, again, it feels like I gotta put something in Spanish with the people who speak Spanish. Damn, them niggas love chicken. That's all it felt like. That's all it felt like.
Yo, real quick, man. I know nobody's watching, man. 14 seconds left. 109, Knicks and Bulls, man.
Okay, Milwaukee, on to Tyrone.
Milwaukee lost.
You know what I really took out of my experience this weekend was that if y'all didn't hear it, and I'm talking to people who don't watch wrestling or watch wrestling, anybody, if y'all didn't hear Paul Heyman's Hall of Fame speech, y'all really need to check that out, because that man spilled his heart out on that speech, and I had to respect the fact that he didn't keep Brock Lesnar out of his speech. I was scared. I was like, is he going to mention Brock? Because Brock was a big part of his career, but the shit that's going on, they were trying to eliminate Brock.
Not to cut you, but they brought back that it was okay to say Brock Lesnar's name, because there was a couple weeks where they didn't utter a word. They cut him out of video packages.
I'm telling you that Heyman was going to say it anyway.
That was the greatest. That was the greatest Hall of Fame speech of WWE Hall of Fame speech ever. That was the greatest one.
I'll go in better. I don't think Paulie takes that invitation, because he's turned it down before the Hall of Fame. But I don't think he takes that if Vince McMahon was still in power. He did that to spite Vince McMahon, his last FU to him for buying ECW and killing his business. And I think he purposed. That's why he said, "I'm a Paul Levesque fan. I'm a Paul Levesque guy." That was an intentional dig. That's why Steph McMahon was back. That's why Steph McMahon is back, because she was tired of all of the Vince of her dad's BS. Now she's back in the fold on the corporate side. And so I think I understand the anger still towards Vince, and there's still there's remnants of that. And of course he built a formula that's going to work. But to that Paulie point, Paulie would have never done it if Vince is still in power.
Wow. Agreed. And I lost my point, I guess, on the other end of this thing. But yeah, he wouldn't have did it he wouldn't have done it if Vince was there. Oh, I remember my point, because y'all brought this back full circle, right? As Ed just mentioned that Paul Heyman just gave his final fuck you to Vince. in your eyes, that's not okay if Kendrick did it. and I'll leave it at that. And I'll leave it at that. We're done. We're done. And know what to do.
Oh man, shout out to my boy Mike. If he's still tuned in, if not, I'll send you the clip because he wanted to see the Gen X perspective. This dude had the balls to say that he didn't want to hear Gen X anyway. Sorry. Shout out to my boy Fuzzy Biscuit. Shout out, yo, Tara, it was good seeing you. It was good seeing you, man. Like, really, for real. Like, all jokes aside, that was dope. That, like, and again, it was your belt. I swear to God, I saw the belt and I was like, yo, that's Tyrone. Yo, let me go say what's up to him. Like, and even my wife thought you were a bug out because she's like, damn, what'd you say about his belt? Like, it's like whatever you said, he took it personal. Like, so shout out, thank y'all for having me on. This was dope, man.
Word. This was another dope show.
My bad.
I love everybody's opinions on this. This was a good spirited show. Like I said, I knew there was going to be a lot of shit talking involved in here today, and it lived up to the hype. I love these conversations. Ed, always welcome. You're more than welcome to come back anytime you want. Thank you again for your input today. It was dope, and I love shows like this, and it was very. We all hit our marks today. I'm gonna put it like that. We got what we said, what we wanted to say off our chest, and there was no animosity or nothing like that. We discussed it like Tyrone said. We discussed it like men. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this was truly dope, no doubt. Oh,
yes, sir. Nah, great show, man. Great show. I appreciate the like you said, man, the fact that we could have discussion, have pretty much G-rated discussion about the whole state of hip hop, quote unquote state of hip hop and all that, man. So love it, man. Another great show, man. Look forward to next week, man. Pretty much.
Yeah, I enjoyed this. I always enjoy shows anyway. You know what I mean? Like I said, I was shocked when you first walked up, and then I was like, oh yeah, I know that. And then the first thing that hit me was like, oh, he talked shit on the belt. Like if you see it in person, that's the first thing that hit me. Like you was talking that shit. So it was like, had that same energy. You know what I'm saying? Had that same energy. It was good to see you. Though. Like I said, I was happy to see you. I was telling my friends about it after we chopped it up. I'm glad you came back to the show. And like I said, once again, it's a good show. And I love when we talk about things that we passionate about, like sports, hip hop, those passionate things. It brings out stuff in people, and I really like that. So yeah, I can't wait till next show.
Yeah, we had all of that. Did it nice and nice. But yeah, we had all of that today. Today was definitely a good one. And you see what we did? Y'all talked up for the apology, and we still walked away like friends.
Word.
And I still leave with the last word. Fuck y'all niggas. Peace. We done. It's never that. What it always is hit the box next to Big O's box. Hooksrub.com, 20% off your order using the code STARTING5. Thanks to everybody checking us out on the live. Thanks for everybody who's going to check us out on the podcast, and we out. Peace.
Peace.